everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome to ReCalling the Adventure, where we take our entrepreneurs back to where they began and recall how the adventure got started. Today, we have with us the founder of SquatEase, Satyajit Mittal. After completing a diploma in industrial and product design at the MIT Institute of Design, Satyajit found experience through various projects and internships. He then went on to join Globant as a user experience designer before coming up with SquatEase. So Squatties takes the classic Indian toilet and raises the footrest at an angle that allows easier positioning and less stress on the muscles. All of this while maintaining the cost that appeals to the mass of India. So Satyajit, if I've missed anything, please feel free to jump in here.
No, I think it's good.
All
I
right,
think you're cool.
perfect. So let's get started with the first question. So, whenever I see sort of like a product that's kind of different, but also rooted from a very commonsensical idea, the first thing I ask the person is that did you always see yourself as an entrepreneur, or did your belief in your idea make you take the leap?
No, I think it's a very nice question, and it didn't start. I didn't. I designed this product while I was back in college. By the way, this was my
Right.
my third year special needs project. Right, it was around 2015 when the toilet space in India was booming, and I was like, okay, like every design school, you have a week where you have a new course starting, and I was listening to a speech, okay, while I was driving to the institute, and it was more like a podcast. So I was just playing it in the background, and I was hearing it, and then that was the day where you had to pick a topic, right? And it really started there, and I was like, okay, let's pick this topic, let's get into it. Now let's cut to, I designed the product back when I was in design school. It looked a little different. And then cut to, I was working on my final year diploma project, which was a year later at Whirlpool.
Right.
And, everybody was talking about IF Design Awards. And I was like, okay, I have a project. It's sitting on the shelf. Let's send it to IF. And I sent it, and we won the IF Student Award in Germany. And I was like, great. I get to go to Germany and have some fun with my friends. So I took 2 of my friends along, went to Germany, had a blast for 18 days. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as I came back, I had sat for campus placements, and I got recruited by Globant. And I was like, okay, I've never tried, I've tried some UX before.
Mm-hmm.
So actually in my interview for Globant, they asked me to show my best project, and I was going to be building apps. Okay. I showed Squatties, and I literally got the job because I said, this is a UX project. Okay. Don't look at it as a product design project. This is a UX project in its core sense. And I got the job. I was working there, and then an incident happened which sort of changed everything. That was the Coldplay concert in Bombay. Okay, so I won. It was, if you remember, it was by Global Citizen,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to complete a bunch of tasks online, share it, and then submit that with your score. And if you won, you would win a prize from them, and there would be tickets, complimentary tickets.
Okay. Wow.
So I won the tickets to the concert, and I happened to go to the concert, and it was on 19th of November, 2017.
Right.
And I was there, and I'm like, 2016, sorry. 2016, 19th of November, and it was apparently the World Toilet Day.
Okay.
And I didn't know that. And I was just excited about Coldplay. Once I reached there, just before Coldplay played, about 5 hours of people coming on stage and talking about toilets. And I was like, I have such a ready product lying on my shelf, and I've not done, it's an awarded product. It's a German award that we've received, and I've not done anything about it. And I was very comfortable in my life, and Globant taught me a lot of things, and it's a great place to work. So, people once join Globant, they hardly see themselves moving for the next 3 or 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really nice place. And I had amazing mentors at Globant. So I was not in my mind to, sort of shift, but after going to that concert and seeing the people and talk about toilets, and it became so big that I was like, why don't I do something, with this project? So I came back that night after Coldplay, and everybody was like amazed to see Coldplay play. And I was just coming back. On the way back, I was thinking, okay, I think I need to do something with this project. So the next day, I went and met one of the people from that industry in Pune with my connect, and he guided me through a route of sorts. And I'm like, okay, this seems doable. And then I applied for a grant, which was got the grant to prototype my idea. And once I started getting in deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and I started realizing that, okay, this is something that we can do. So the first, I didn't have a goal like I want to be an entrepreneur at the very beginning. I had a goal, I want to do something with this project. Okay. And then I started setting goals. And as soon as those goals would come closer to completion, I would make another goal. Right. And so the first goal, I clearly remember the first goal was to make a 3-dimensional full-scale prototype in ceramics. That was my straight-up goal. I went to the manufacturing hub of ceramics in India, which is in Gujarat. I roamed around 500 kilometers. I had a few friends, a few family friends. They guided me through some channels, and we were able to punch out. So within the grant, I was able to punch out enough molds to set up a manufacturing line. And that's what I ran with, because I told them that if I like it, I'm going to get into it. So that milestone got completed with one prototype, and then I was able to convince him to put up a line on credit. Okay. And I would take a certain pieces a year. Then I realized that, okay, I've promised a manufacturer a line with some amount of units, and those units are going to cost money. So I will do my job till the time I have enough money for 1,000 units without borrowing money from someone. Right. So that was the next goal. The month I reached my 1,000 unit goal, it was my appraisal. And in my appraisal, I'm like, I'm quitting. Okay. Because if they told me before me saying I'm quitting, if they'd give me a raise, I would never go back to it. Right. So I was like, I want to quit. And by the time there was already a buzz, and I don't work in stealth. So everybody knew what I was doing and what I was into. And, I was traveling to Gujarat Friday, Saturday, Sunday, almost every second or third weekend to have a look at manufacturing and all of that. And that's when it really started. And this was 2017. And then the final throw was when I attended CIBI World Water Week in 2017 with this idea. And I just went there as a visitor. I bought a pass and I went to it just to see how people react in that space, because I never came from the sanitation space, right? So I didn't know anybody in the sanitation space. So my first thing was, how do I get known in the sanitation circle? So I took a 3D printed model, kept it in my bag, went to Sweden, attended, and I showed people, and it was an advisory delegation which was talking about, and a lot of NGOs across the world talking about sanitation, and a lot of Indian delegation there, and the government of India was also presenting, and I got a chance to present, to talk, to show people my idea, because of, like, everybody from the sanitation space was there that week, right? So it was the easiest way to connect with everyone. Then I got to know that there is a man called Jack Sim, and he runs World Toilet Organization, and he was the guy who got World Toilet Day recognized by the UN. It's actually coined after their establishment date. So World Toilet Organization was founded on 19th of November.
Okay.
And then he coined that to be the UN World Toilet Day, right? So I was like, let's write to this guy. So I wrote to him. He said, show me a prototype. I didn't have a prototype that time in my hand. And it just kept on moving from there, So I quit my job. Globant was very kind to give me a sabbatical for 6 months. And they said, if it doesn't work out, why don't you come back? And I said, no, I don't want to come back, because I don't want to keep any bridges. Otherwise it's a safe bet. Right. So they said, okay. So I said, I'll just back. And if I come back in 6 months, I come back in 6 months. So they were very sweet enough to do that as well for me. And they really gave me that support to, go ahead with. So always at the back of my head, I thought that I had this plan, but I never wanted to go to that plan ever. And that's where we started, and things started snowballing after a certain event. There were a lot of, I mean, this is a very rosy picture. There were days when buy the stock for 1,000 units, you need to have a plan ready to sell 1,000 units, right?
I'm sorry, I think the internet cut out a bit. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can.
Sorry, so the last thing that I caught was that you need to have a plan to have a rollout for those 1,000 units as well.
Yeah. So the next challenge was, now you promised someone 1,000 units in production, and in a manufacturing plant, that's going to take you, if you have one line running, that's going to be about a month of production, right? So how do you stall that till the time you find you can have a buyer for that, because you don't know where you're going to store it, and one product is 15 kgs, so so there was a lot of firefighting every day that went on in the background about how to manage all of that, and I think I kind of learned on the job when I had my first prototypes. I went and started showing people. So I was traveling at least 4 days a week sometimes, so just constantly going to buyers, thinking, where are we going to do this, and then pitching for a lot of grants, talking to a lot of people, getting it out there. And then I heard that Kumbh is happening in the start of 2019, and we started our production mid 2018, right? So I was like, okay, there's a place. I just need to find who all is building, right? And we went behind each and every supplier of how. And firstly, you're trying. So in the Indian market, firstly, you are a first-time entrepreneur in your business, in your family. Secondly, you are building a product which is inventory heavy and cash heavy, right? And thirdly, you're trying to get into a market where there's a lot of big names already out there, and you're selling a concept in India. It's not a product which is established product market fit yet, right? So you need to do a lot of convincing to sort of move ahead. And I think things really changed at Kumbh, because I was like, okay, I have maybe tested it with 1,000 people, but I want to test it with like 1 million people. How do I test a product with 1 million people? And I was like, Kumbh is the best playground, because I'll get, even if I do, there were 1 lakh toilets. I was like, even if I do 1%, okay, on an average per day, if there are 20 people using 1 cubicle and there are 1 lakh cubicles, right? Even if you do 10,000 units or 5,000 units or 6,000 units, you will have a substantial mass of people having used your product, experienced your product, right? And that happened, and our toilets really changed the game at Kumbh for sectors where we were deployed, because it was much cleaner. It was even with less amount of water, it could be easily flushed. The toilet cleaners loved the product because they were like, it is so easy to clean. I just have to pour a bucket and it'll get clean, and it's not messy. So that really gave us confidence. We had a team. I was there for 45 days on ground at Kumbh, monitoring this, recording all of this data with 2 of my interns who I took to Kumbh. We stayed in an ashram pandal. We stayed in Parmat Niketan's housing, and even Swami Chidanand Saraswati ji, he was so helpful. He gave us a place to stay. He told us, he made us meet people. It was phenomenal. And I think really after Kumbh is when we started to go viral, because Better India did a post, and that's when it really started, and we hit it off, and we were like, okay, we can do this. So I think I rolled into the entrepreneurial journey, and somewhere in the middle, we established a company, we established some amount of structure, and we did all of that. So it was more about seeing a potential product at the right time and the right place, and that's how we decided.
So somehow with this answer, you've also answered 3 more of my questions. So let's get to the challenge first. So this is sort of the idea of this challenge is to sort of make you think quickly. So I'm going to say the challenge now, and you have about 5 seconds to answer. And Sorry?
Yeah, 5 seconds to answer, but with edits we can make it 5 seconds.
So the challenge is for you to describe Squatties in 3 words.
Comfort, smart, and it's the New Balance.
Okay, nice. I like it. So the reason why we get entrepreneurs to we ask them to do this challenge is mainly sort of to boil it down to the simple facts of the product rather than,
Right.
you can go as much into details, but
Right.
in 3 words, what is the core of it?
Right.
And so yeah, so with that, so one of the questions I was going to ask you was how you plan on, with this, it's a very behavioral thing, right? Educating the mass of India and sort of also the lesser educated mass of India, telling them how to use the product, why it's better, why it's cleaner, why it's better for your muscles, the balance, and all of that. But I guess, yeah, the Kumbh is a brilliant manner to do that with. And so that brings me to my second question, which is that are you at all worried about knockoffs in any way? Because, in terms of, I don't know the technicality of the product, and I'm sure there is like a particular
Right.
angle and stuff, but I can also,
Right.
in my head, it seems like it would be something that can see a lot of replication once it hits the market fully.
Right.
So it's seeing replication, okay?
Okay.
And the first time it happens, you are actually flattered, okay? Because you see that, you've seen that video of that guy who's dancing in a crowd, and the second guy who starts dancing in that crowd is like a trend follower, and then everybody starts dancing, right? I think that's the best sign that there could be. Of course, you have to take legal steps after that, but deep within you're like, okay, it's clicked, and once you get that feeling it's clicked, because it not clicking is so much of a downer that you're like, I hope it clicks. And I'll tell you why. Because India is so large, right, that I'll tell you, daily production of squat pants in India is still about 2 lakh units a day.
Wow.
Okay, so you're talking about 2 crore toilets, or 20 million 2 crore toilets uh, in a year, right? Let's say you own half the town of manufacturing, right? Where do you, even if to establish a 50% market share, right? That day is going to come, but that day is not today, right?
Right.
Today you want it to spread like fire, and you want everybody to talk about it and shift, right? And that's the name of the game. And if people are knocking you off, just look at the market. And if you see, the first thing is patentability, right? So we patented it out. We patented the ranges of angles. We patented the posture. We also patented the angle. We patented like 6 designs, variations of what could happen. So we have about patents in about 23 countries now. India, we've been granted 6 design registrations. So we tried to knock ourselves off as much as we could with different kinds and variations of design.
And then
Right?
patented those as well.
We patented those as well. So we gave out ads in newspapers in Gujarat, where the manufacturing hub is, to just tell people that we've patented it, and if you come here, we will get a hold of you, right? So you need to do all of that if you want to. And I think slowly people are also recognizing. It's a very old age saying that India mein patent nahi chalte. It's not the case. You look at the big guys copying you; they really have to crack it, or you really have to bring their attention to this particular market segment, because all the big players are going towards the bigger money maker, and not a 1699 bathroom product, right?
Right.
So it works very differently, and you need to tackle it the way it comes, and how it can be tackled. But you should obviously focus on your intellectual property being protected in the most secured way possible. My brother runs a legal firm, so it was slightly easier for me with his guidance on IP, and he made it happen for us. So that was a plus. But also about marketing plays a big role, in saying that So I'll tell you why we were still selling was we went viral after Kumbh. With Brut, we got 1.2 million views. With Better India, the day they launched the article, they had my phone number in the article. I got 300 phone calls, right, saying people want the product. So you know that there's a gap. You know that there's a product which solves the gap. And now you had a way of connecting the brand to those people that I want SquatEase, right?
Right.
So the branding aspect really started. Being a hardcore product designer, branding didn't come easy to me. So we got in the experts to sort of handle the way the brand would move
Right.
and how would establish that in the mind of the user. And it's a novelty, right? Like it's something new. People have not seen that before. You're trying to convince them, and also displays. So we displayed across. Now we've just started rolling out the retail with our licensee in India, and we license the product, and they are setting up displays all across the country, right? In retail shops, and people come and they're like, "What is this?" And you get to sit on it and you experience it in a second. So talking about the fact that a lot of people don't know what the product is or how it's going to be, or people who are not well read, I don't think shitting comes very natural to everybody, right? And they know what the problem is. So I don't care if my user is educated or non-educated, as long as he wants to upgrade his life, I think we have a product for him.
Fair enough. I like the kind of positive spin that you've put around the idea of knockoffs. It's very interesting and refreshing, for that matter.
Right.
But yeah, so speaking about like sort of the legal aspects of it, so I noticed that from Squatties, you've spun off a company called Sanotion, which is,
Yes.
as I understand, the broader spin-off for products in the hygiene, well-being, and low-income sectors. So
Right.
and
Right.
so, what is the next step for Sanotion, sort of?
So just to put it a little more structuredly, what Sanotion is the nucleus. Okay, so that's where the magic happens.
Okay.
And then we look at problems in the world, and we look at solutions to enhance everyday living for people, right? And that's where we design things that could add value. We look at industries, we look at we look at disruption, that where disruption has not happened before, right? And what is the need of the hour today. So interestingly, when we set up Sanotion, we set it up with a mindset that we're going to take this way ahead into solving problems and creating products and getting them to market. So I hate the concept of labs. That's my personal note. Right? I think things die in a lab. So we didn't call it Sanotion Labs for that particular reason. We have two very structured divisions. One is innovation and one is marketing, right?
Right.
And they're going alongside each other, but also they're competing. So if marketing says that this is not going to work, we always come back and see, what's the problem and why it won't work in the real world. So the realism is kept alive every day. So coming back to your question, the next product that we decided to do was we are working on a shoe technology, okay, and we patented a shoe technology which has organic growth in footwear. So the shoe grows with the feet, and especially in case of children. So we started working on that. The problem that we saw was 380 million kids without footwear in the world, and the problems that it caused. And that was the root cause of the start. And the way we have created the story for that particular product and the technology, right? So we started to combine those two things, and we filed our patents this year in 2020 while we were in the lockdown. And we realized that in May we are like, we can't go to prototype because COVID hit us hard. And we had a few people joining us, our team, and we didn't want to say no to them at that particular point of time. So we were like, okay, let's regroup and think that we are in this situation now. What can we do? So we actually came up with another product in the lockdown, and we're launching that on Kickstarter in the next 45 days, in fact. And this lockdown, we were able to establish an entity in the US, a sub entity of Sanotion in India,
Alright.
and take it from there. And the whole idea here was to see that can we build the next Swiss Army knife of the modern day world, okay? Because you're carrying so many things, right? And such events in the world are the best time for innovation. So if you look at noodles, right, World War One. If you look at Swiss Army knife, again, World War. So these are indicative factors that such times, such periods are actually timeless for innovation, right? So we sort of created a multi-tool called device, and it's like a all-in-one device for your physical needs. So let's say whatever your phone can do, but still you need some physical things to carry, or like nowadays you carry a sanitizer, right? You carry some pills, you want to open a bottle somewhere, you want to carry you want to carry wipes, okay, you want to have a door opener. So we figured out what are these things that people want, and how do you combine it something which is smaller than your phone,
Right.
and still give it to you. And we also looked at the other side of the sustainability factor of carrying your own things around, and we combined that idea to bring sustainability, efficiency, and productivity on a single platform which fits inside your pocket. So it's called the website is called Daily Device, and dailydevice.com. And yeah, we're launching next month, so on Kickstarter. So I think that's going to be
Awesome. I'll definitely check it out, and I mean, good luck. Sounds like a really interesting device, and yeah, I really like the idea of the shoe as well. I find that very, very interesting because I can't even sort of imagine the kind of material that goes into it. But
Right.
I am looking forward to seeing it sometime soon.
Right.
Um, so let's move on to now our rapid fire round. So this is, I will ask you a question. Now you have 3 seconds, not 5, 3 seconds to give a one-word answer. Right? So okay, so let's start. So iPad or notebook? 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
3 seconds. iPad.
Okay, favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
Which hobby of yours did your company kill?
Sorry.
Which hobby of yours?
Going to the gym.
How did you feel when you first fired someone?
Touch wood, I haven't have to.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. What is the weirdest place from where you have worked?
A factory. And by a factory, I mean a shop floor.
Okay. Uh, how many all-nighters did you pull in your first year?
365.
I love that. And finally, did you ever question whether it was worth it?
110%, I didn't.
Nice. I love that. You know, a lot of people that we ask this question to, and I mean, obviously, many of these questions, so for example, how many all-nighters, or did you ever question whether it was worth it? It's just so nice to see the energy of the people because everyone's like, yeah, all-nighters is like pretty much how they live the life and never question
Yeah,
what's worth it.
your life. That's why I don't go to the gym anymore. No, but I started playing squash. That's why when you told me that we'll do this at 8, I said, sorry, we can't do it at 8.
No, I get the commitment to squash because I love squash as well. So I totally understand that.
Lovely.
But yeah, so that concludes our final segment, and we'd like to thank you for giving us your time and being a great guest.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it's
Um,
been a pleasure.